I didn't practice any Spanish. This is terrible.
Debes que hacerlo bien.
Cerveza.
Cuídate.
Are you recording the meetup, Keenan?
Yep, I'll record it. Yep.
Okay. I'm looking at the television.
Yep, it's
okay,
live.
okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the television right now.
Cerveza.
Oh.
Cuídate.
Are you recording the meetup?
Yeah.
Keenan?
Yep, I'll record it. Yep.
Okay. I'm looking at.
There you go.
There is a delay, no? Oh, there's a delay.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Yeah, you should mute the TV if you can, Mark.
Okay. Bye. Okay. Well.
Sounds good now.
Yes. Okay. I reveal the dashboard. But at the dashboard, every time I have to enter, I have to choose in the search chapters every time. It's not that possible that it's directly go to Spanish one.
Not sure.
I'm not either. I'm not very good with the dashboard thing yet.
Okay. But,
Keenan, forgive me.
Oh, you guys are good.
okay. Hola, Milo. Hi. Wait. Okay.
So everyone should also be aware if your camera's on, it's going to go on YouTube. So if you want, you can just turn your camera off and then you'll be good.
Sure.
But just a heads up for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Wait, there's. Okay.
Here they come.
Hey, Javier.
Javier, buenas noches, ¿qué tal? Bueno, buenas noches en España.
Buenas, Marc, ¿cómo estás? Mucho gusto.
Muy bien, encantado.
Igualmente.
Esperaremos 5 minutos a ver si la gente va entrando y luego ya iniciamos la reunión. A ver, un segundito. No. Pom. A ver, un segundo.
Cool, Eric. I think whenever you want to, and Mark, start. You guys are good.
Cool. Mark, do we want to just start with some introductions? Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then Ian and I will introduce ourselves. We'll talk a little bit about LINKPOOL. We'll talk a little bit about the product offerings, and then you guys can ask us some questions.
Ok, bueno, estoy esperando. Bueno, buenas noches a todo el mundo. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Before we begin, I want to thank all the assistants to this meetup, friends from all around the world, from Argentina to Italia, and well, it's a pleasure. Let's begin. I'm proud to introduce the LINKPOOL team members that join this virtual meetup with us. They are Ian Reed, works as a business development lead, and Eric Jaurena, I think it's
that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. He works in the business development. Also, he's a community manager. Also, a special mention for Keenan Olsen, the community manager at Chainlink, and all the Chainlink advocates that are here supporting us. At the end of the presentation, you all feel free to ask them whatever question you have. Okay. And I give the floor to Eric.
Oh, great. So, like Mark said, my name is Eric. I've been with the LINKPOOL team since the top of January of 2019. I started out as community manager, just been really engaged in the Chainlink community for a few years prior to that. Really enjoying it. Started doing the business development stuff middle of last year as well. Ian has been a great mentor, runs the business development program over at LINKPOOL, and we just generally enjoy ourselves and work hard. Ian, tell us a little about yourself.
I feel like you have to say that with me here, but
I do, but it doesn't hurt.
Ian Reed, business development lead at LINKPOOL, joined the team towards the end of last year on a formal capacity, but was lucky enough to meet Johnny and Matt, the LINKPOOL co-founders, back in 2017, shortly after the Chainlink ICO, through the official Slack channel, which doesn't exist anymore, which is kind of fun to think about. I think it exists, just no one uses it.
It does exist, and some people do use it, but they're not supposed to.
Do they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really happy to be here. You know, we've had a lot of interest from the Spanish-speaking communities. So it's great to be able to connect with you guys and you know, answer whatever questions you have. And I really appreciate the opportunity to come here and meet some of you and you know, hopefully answer some of the questions that you have.
Yeah, Ian's absolutely right. It's been really cool to see the engagement with the Spanish-speaking community over the last few weeks. Thank you to the people that have helped me out with answering some questions in Spanish in the email. And sorry to the people that have had to suffer through trying to understand my Spanish, but doing our best. So a little bit of background on LINKPOOL in general. Like Ian indicated, the founders, Johnny and Matt, met in 2017, like right after the Chainlink ICO in that private Slack. One of the core things that they identified was that although staking was going to be fairly far away, it's going to be really difficult, it's going to be really complex, and it's going to be really different from proof of stake staking, right? They're totally different ideas. Additionally, they identified that there's going to be no distribution, no delegation, no pooling. That concept just isn't going to exist baked into the protocol. And so they wanted to put their heads together and lower the barrier to entry in general. So they started LINKPOOL, right? They realized that also that it was going to be a long development cycle to get those contracts put together. So they held a small crowd sale, raised some Ethereum. This allowed Johnny to work full time on the contracts themselves. It ended up taking about 18 months to really get everything put together. And during that period of time, thinking about that every day afforded them the ability to kind of realize that there was going to be different tiers of users within the network, right? There's going to be the retail staker. So a person that holds Link that says, you know, I want to put this to work. I want to help out. I want to take part in the network, but I'm not really interested in running a node myself. There's going to be the power users that were really interested in using their nodes or building their own nodes. And so we offer products to all these different levels, right? So in the future, we're going to offer node as a service, which is kind of an infrastructure play for us, right? Where essentially we provide these individuals this node, and then that's it, right? You essentially are going to be required to configure it yourself, but you have the benefit and the knowledge of knowing that it's a really highly performant, really reliable setup. And also we do offer some consultation services for smart contract development, for external adapter development. And additionally, we offer a managed node service primarily for funds and individuals, maybe exchanges, things like that. So if anybody has any interest in this type of service, you can reach out to us at contact@linkpool.io. And notably, our most recent product is the Chainlink market, market.link. And that kind of captures a lot of different value in a lot of different ways and offers a lot of value to the space. So you can go to market.link and you can see everybody who's listed their own nodes, listed their own adapters, configurations for jobs. You can get stats on, you know, how many times has this ETHUSD price been run? We recently configured it after a lot of work on Johnny's part to kind of automatically scrape and capture the feeds that are live on the Chainlink network. That's a really cool functionality. It's stuff it's exciting to dig into, actually, really. So, Ian, any thoughts, comments on that?
I'm excited. You're excited.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I think, Mark, can you let me share my screen here? I'm not sure if I'm able to. I don't have a presentation or anything, but I thought it might be just helpful to just walk through a couple websites. Great.
Should be able to share now again.
Great. Thanks, Ian. Can you see my screen? Give me one of these, Eric, if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry.
No, this is a delay. I wasn't sure. Great. So like I said, I don't have a presentation, but I'll just run through some of our web pages, and hopefully, through that we can talk a little bit about some of the features and that sort of thing. And yeah, we can, if there's any questions about specific ways to use any of our products or our websites, we can double back here and I can walk you through some of the stuff as well. So as Eric mentioned, we've kind of got 4 main products right now. The first one is staking, and that's really staking in our big LINKPOOL pool. Our LINKPOOL node is online today. It is part of what is powering the DeFi price reference feeds right now. Our node was one of the first 3 nodes online, which we're really proud of. And what that means is, we've got a lot of experience under our belts, and we're going to need that when staking comes to the network. And when that does happen, we're going to open up our LINKPOOL node for people to be able to stake their link on and earn part of the rewards for the jobs that our node is performing. So it's really just creating a big staking pool and bringing people together that don't want to run their own node for a variety of reasons. And with this pool, they'll be able to join and start to make your link work for you, and hopefully increase the amount of link that you have, and really start to help you participate in the network. Because staking isn't live in the protocol yet, we haven't made that product available. We did release a testnet version of it some time ago, and it was really to show the contracts that we had built and what we envisioned that staking process to look like. I'll show you that. We'll skip to that page. I think a lot of people have probably seen it already. We get a lot of questions about, hey, I'm at this page, how do I actually stake? Well, you can't yet, but I'll go through that process with you. Also not available yet is our node as a service, which Eric talked about. And yeah, that's really a process where we provide the infrastructure. So we'll host your node in the cloud according to all the security best practices. And once that's in the cloud, it's yours to manage on a day-to-day basis. And there's lots to think about for node operators. We can talk a little bit about that if there's specific questions. But we'll be releasing that product, closer to when staking goes live. We don't have a specific timeline yet for, how far before staking or just at the same time that staking is available. But really, we're just waiting to see how the network progresses and the type of jobs that nodes are performing before we release a product like that. The 2 products that are available right now is the Chainlink Market and our managed nodes. As Eric mentioned, our managed nodes, we're typically working with companies and enterprises and funds and that sort of thing right now for that type of service. It's a type of service that we're looking to keep the client base very small. And it's really just a custom solution for people to be able to have their own node, but have us manage the day-to-day activities. And lastly, the Chainlink Market, which is live today, and I'll show you. So this is the Chainlink Market. I'm just going to go through a few pages here. I think sometimes, lots of people look at these pages, but sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of narration through them. So you can kind of think about what our thought process is and how these different parts of the web page may evolve as the network evolves. So on our main page here, right at the top, we've got a search bar. And the reason for that is because, we kind of see the market as a search engine for the Chainlink network. We want people to be able to come here and search for all the available nodes that are on the network, all the feeds that those nodes are supporting. the different data sources or the different assets that are available to be included in data sources, who the different data providers are, all that kind of stuff. And so really search is important, and that's why we've put it at the top center here, because that's kind of how we view this page. It is a search engine. Below that, we've got some quick links to the different major components of the market, feeds, nodes, and jobs. Below that, we've got just some quick updates for the newest feeds that have been on the market or in the network. And as Eric mentioned, we have a backend process that is constantly searching and identifying for new feeds, whether that's on any testnet, any Ethereum testnet or mainnet. Our market will find those and identify that that's a Chainlink feed and begin to monitor it. And when we say monitor it, it means monitor all the performance that's happening related to that feed. So which jobs, which nodes are on them, what their jobs are, what the answers are, how quick those nodes are to respond, all that kind of stuff. So there's really, this is the beginning of a lot of dynamic content that's going to be in the market. Below that, we just have a quick, the latest 3 nodes that have been added to the market. So these are node operators who have gone through the process and set up their node. Some of these are on testnet, some of them are on mainnet. And once you've got your node online and it's configured properly, you can register it on the Chainlink market. That process costs a little bit of link. And the reason it costs a little bit of link is twofold. First, when these nodes actually verify on the market, we test to make sure that they're functioning correctly. We only want to allow nodes onto the market that are functioning correctly. So the verification process actually processes a job on your node, and that there's a cost associated with that node. And at the end of that process, we know that your node is functioning correctly and can begin to be reliable to serve its purpose. The other reason that we charge a little bit here is because we don't want just people spinning up a whole bunch of nodes and spamming it. So it's kind of like a double mechanism that we have to be able to list your node on here. We also have a section for adapters and jobs. So these are the most recent ones that have been added. I'll just click on the nodes here, and we can quickly look at what one of those looks like. So if we click on the LINKPOOL node here, the default view here is to show all the different feeds that the LINKPOOL node is participating in. These are all on mainnet. Some of them just have number values, address values right now, but as we scroll down, you can see some of them are for TrueUSD or gold or GBP or ETH prices. And so what we're showing here in this line is the latest value and things like when this feed was created and when it was last updated, how many nodes are on it, and some quick links to feeds.chain.link. So in addition, we can see all the jobs that are available here. So these are all the different types of jobs that we're able to perform, and then the adapters that support those jobs. In addition, you can see the total number of runs and jobs and just some summary details over here. If we go back home, we look at a specific feed, pick the Haven feed here, you can see the nodes that are participating on it, as well as all the different specific jobs that those nodes are using. And I think one of the exciting things here is that we're really working hard right now on improving how dynamic this page is. So what we want to do is introduce some analytics that show node performance, responses, and all that kind of thing. So price history and we're working hard at that right now, and we're really looking forward to that next release, which is going to start to contain some of that, that data. That's just a quick overview of the market. I'll just quickly show our staking page as well, just to go back and recall. This is the staking page. So I mentioned that it's not live yet. This is the testnet version that was live some time ago. And what I've done here is, let me just move this. What I've done here is connected with an old address that I used when I was doing testing myself. So on MetaMask, I'm connected here. Got my DEX demo account. You can see I'm on the Ropsten network. New in the latest version of MetaMask, you actually have to grant approval for specific accounts to connect to a Web3 website. You can control that here by clicking on the connected button, and you can see all the different accounts that you have connected that are authorized to interact with this website. So I've approved this one, which means that what we're looking at here is the history according to this address. So this is a test address, but you can see I first started testing this out on September 20th, 2018, which sounds like a long time ago when I say it out loud. And really this is the dashboard page, which is intended to show kind of a quick snapshot on both your staked link and how much you've how much rewards you've gotten, and also your address and distribution across different pools. There's a page here that lets you actually stake and withdraw from Chainlink nodes. In order to do that, you need to first select a node. Reminder here, we're on Ropsten, right? This isn't live. So we can see here, my address has 169 links staked on one of the two pools that are available. The other one, it doesn't have any. The reason it doesn't have any is because about an hour ago, I actually went through the process of withdrawing. So we go back to the dashboard. You can see that my staked link was at 368, and then it dropped by 200 because I withdrew 200. So although it's not live on testnet here, you can still see some of the old functionality for sure. And again, this is a page that we're working on for an update as well, substantial update, and we're looking forward to pushing that out as well. And just, you know, I don't want people to read into that staking's coming soon, or that we even know when staking's coming, because we don't. But really the point here is to show, you know, the network's changed a lot since we first rolled this out, and we've put some development effort into showing what those changes look like, and how that's kind of changed how this staking app is going to look like, you know, when staking does come. Again, don't read into that as it's coming soon or anything. So also we've got a node selection page here, which just, you know, shows the available pools that you're able to stake in, some history. The other thing I wanted to just quickly mention, because it is also live right now, is we also have a DEX, decentralized exchange, because LINKPOOL has our own token. Eric mentioned in the overview at the start that we had a small crowd sale. Part of that crowd sale was that we created the LINKPOOL token. It was really important to us that we created a way for that token to be trustlessly traded. We really didn't want any of our token holders, our crowd sale participants, to have to you know, engage in OTC trades for LINKPOOL shares or anything like that. So we created a DEX for people to be able to post trades. I'll just quickly switch my network here from Ropsten to mainnet. And yeah, I won't talk too much about this. I know that we've had a bunch of questions about, you know, how to place buy orders and how to place sell orders and that kind of thing. I think that's kind of like out of scope for this, but I did just want to mention it. You know, if anyone has questions about this, please feel free to hop into our Telegram group, and we'll help you out however we can. One thing I did want to show as well is that we had some people ask why this ownership tab was grayed out here. I'm going to connect to this. I'm just going to disconnect this account that I've got here, which means I'm no longer connected to the DEX with any kind of account. So right now, this is in read-only mode. I found an address earlier that has one LP token. So I'm just going to put that in the read-only mode here. And what that allows you to do is it opens up this tab, this ownership tab. So again, this isn't my address. I don't know whose it is. I'm sorry for whoever's it is. You have one LINKPOOL token. So I just thought it would be a good address to show using it as an example. So when you click on the ownership tab here, if you do own LINKPOOL tokens, this is what you would see. So you see how many LINKPOOL tokens you have and how many cumulative link rewards that LINKPOOL token has generated for you. So this may be a little confusing because staking is not live yet, but our LINKPOOL node is live, and our LINKPOOL node is processing jobs and earning link. Right? We've got all these different jobs here that the LINKPOOL node supports. Just pull those up for quick reference. All right, so here's all the different feeds that we're on. And as part of this, we're rewarded with link for performing these tasks. When our LINKPOOL node accumulates this link, every other week, we distribute those rewards to LINKPOOL token holders. So this account, random account, owns one LINKPOOL token, and we can see the cumulative link rewards that person has generated as a result. I don't know for sure if that's indicative of what one LINKPOOL token has earned over time, but anyway, it's a good example. I think that's it for what I wanted to show. I'm happy to go back over here and talk about specifics, but really I wanted to make sure that there was lots of time to ask questions because I think that that's what this is about. So should we skip to questions now, Mark? Does that make sense?
Okay, I'm looking at the chat and there are some questions. For example, the percentage for the staking is up to the node operator or is fixed by the Chainlink team?
So the way that staking is going to work is the percentage that a node, then I'm going to answer a couple questions here just in case I'm missing the point. Ultimately, the way that it's going to work is a smart contract creator is going to create their smart contract, right? It's going to request a certain type of data from node operators like LINKPOOL or like Fuse or like Honeycomb. And they're going to, when staking is live, they're going to demand a certain amount of link stake. The idea is that the return on that investment, so to speak, that you stake, right, is going to be commensurate with the amount that you have to stake and the amount of link that you earn. So that's kind of the percentage that you earn, how that's going to be calculated. When somebody stakes on our node, on our LINKPOOL node, they will receive 75% of the rewards commensurate with how much they've staked. We take a 25% fee of that. That fee is then distributed to the LINKPOOL holders. Yeah, does that answer the question, you think?
Okay. Another one.
I think so, yeah.
If something goes wrong with a job, my link is dangerous if my link were in the penalty of the job?
So on our LINKPOOL node, when somebody stakes on our node, we're planning to cover all the penalties from that. So their link wouldn't be at risk. You know, they wouldn't earn anything from that job because we didn't earn anything from it, but they're not going to lose their link. So in that case specifically, Ian?
Yeah, exactly right. I would just add that that's a very LINKPOOL specific thing.
Right.
You know, that's not necessarily going to be true for other pools. We anticipate I hope there will be other pools. You know, every pool is going to set their criteria differently. That's how we've chosen to do it. But by no means does that mean that everyone will do it that way. And likewise,
Okay.
sorry, if you're running your own node, you're absolutely responsible for those penalties.
Yeah, LINKPOOL isn't going to pay for your fees on your node.
Right.
Just to be clear.
Right. Even if you're using our infrastructure.
Right. That's true.
Okay.
Through Node as a service or something.
Okay, that's great. And the last one, if I were to run my own node, how can LINKPOOL help with that?
Sure. So a couple different ways. If somebody wants to be a node operator themselves, using that node as a service in the future is certainly going to be a way for us to assist them with that, right? Additionally, like Ian was showing, the Chainlink market.link, that's a place for you to list your node, advertise the services. You can put a link to your node's website and do your own marketing push and have this be the landing page kind of for where you list your node and where you tell people to check it out and see what it can do. So
yeah, I think one of our goals here is to try to make participating in the Chainlink network easier for everyone, right? And we're trying to do that in a number of different ways. So if you want to just stake in a pool, we're going to have a pool. If you want to run your own node, we'll help you with the infrastructure, right? I think it goes beyond that though, right? It goes into tooling and we released earlier something called Bridges, which is a framework for creating Chainlink adapters. And really it just makes the process easier. And if you're running your own node, there's a bunch of work you have to do, right? And part of that is developing these adapters if you're going to have proprietary or niche data sources, and so products like Bridges help you do that. We've got another tool, Market Sync, that creates a connection between your Chainlink node and the market to help you list the jobs that you have available. It's really just to remove, data entry and that sort of thing, for a couple of reasons, because data entry sucks, right? But also because it can be error prone too. So really, when we create that connection, it removes that that ability for errors to kind of creep in and stuff. So we're gonna continue to release tooling like this that helps node operators. We're better. LINKPOOL is better as a company, and better in the ecosystem when people are running their own nodes, right? So we want to help. We want to help support that, and if there are other ways that people need help, then let us know. We're happy to entertain those kind of things.
Absolutely.
Okay, another one. There will be some kind of contract between the owner of the tokens and LINKPOOL in order to guarantee the tokens?
So in terms of staking on the LINKPOOL node for LINKPOOL token holders, since the LINKPOOL token is trustlessly exchanged between individuals, we're not going to have a contract between us and the holders of the LINKPOOL token. We've offered those guarantees about not requiring those token holders to pay those fees if we do incur them on the node. And that's something that's going to be viewable in the contracts themselves. And by that, I mean the smart contracts themselves. But also, Ian, do you have a comment about that?
Yeah, no, I think the question can be interpreted a couple different ways. So sure. I'll just answer maybe a different question. And that's in our staking pool, when the pool is open, that's fun to say, when the pool is open, we will, that process is trustless. So we don't actually have, we don't hold your tokens. They're in a smart contract. We can't access your tokens. So we couldn't, we couldn't take custodianship of them if we wanted to. So that'll be guaranteed by the smart contracts that we'll be using.
Okay, Alex asks, LINKPOOL rewards are based on link received as service payment from any request throughout the entire node or only specific contracts on the node?
So all the link that is received by the LINKPOOL node, which is link that comes in from market, well, that goes to the owner's contract specifically, but in short, yeah, all the link that the LINKPOOL node receives is distributed to LINKPOOL token holders. That's actually how the company gets its revenue, right? That was part of the agreement of the token sale, right? Is that LINKPOOL as a company has a certain percent of those tokens. The rest of them were available in the crowd sale. So to get the money, we got to send it through the node.
Okay,
the contract at least.
I've got one more question. Wait a minute. Staking will eventually be open to non-LINKPOOL holders, right? They would have to pay a flat USD fee to do so?
So staking will eventually open to non-LINKPOOL token holders. It's tough to say exactly when that's going to be because, again, we still also don't know when staking is, right? They aren't going to have to pay a flat US dollar fee. They will be subject to that 25% fee, and that's just going to be automatically taken out of the link rewards that are sent to them. So, yeah, the difference there between a LINKPOOL token holder and a non-LINKPOOL token holder would be that the LINKPOOL token holders are receiving a percent of that fee also, right? I don't want to go into the math necessarily, but if you have questions, you can hit me on Telegram and I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah. Do we have any questions also from the YouTube? I see that Jose has a question here. But...
Okay, what new services or products can we expect from LINKPOOL in the short, mid-term future?
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. So, Ian talked about we're doing some pretty substantial updates to the staking app, or the staking app, excuse me. Can't say necessarily exactly when that's going to be done, but it's looking pretty good. We're always looking to update and expand the functionality of Market.link. And we've talked a little bit about some of the analytics tools that are going to be built into that too. We're looking to get that going more in the future too. Ian?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked publicly about supporting Ethereum staking. We don't have a timeline for that yet.
Sounds like maybe
because
anyway.
Ethereum doesn't have a timeline for it yet. But we haven't committed yet to a specific phase where we'll be making that service available. Staking Ethereum makes a lot of sense because it's a very, very similar model and can use our staking contracts that we already have built. So obviously it's different, so it needs some tweaks, but we feel like we're well positioned to do that. Beyond that, there's still lots of products to come, right? The staking pool is a big one. Node as a service is a big one. And we really want to make sure that we execute on those. So we're not thinking too far beyond that, to be honest. Certainly not publicly, but I think that there's lots of room even within those products for lots of different features and functionality. And I talked recently at a community event a week or two ago. And just talked about, all the cool stuff that's coming, and we want to play a part of that for sure, and yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming. So, we're not thinking too far down the line.
Okay, another one. Do you think you will face shortage of necessary link for collateral? If so, how would you handle this automatically?
So that's the premise essentially, right, of opening up our node to a pooling service. In the event that we have a shortage of link as collateral, that's kind of a good problem to have, right? Because staking, people are very excited about staking, right? If we reach a place where the contracts that we're servicing are just thirsty for more link, we can essentially just expand from, we can expand the limit that the LINKPOOL token allows somebody to stake. We can open up to non-LINKPOOL token holders. We can do better advertising maybe. At this time, I don't think that that's going to be a problem that we're going to have in the near-term future once staking is live, right? And again, I wouldn't say that that's necessarily, we don't know when it's going to happen. That's the take-home message. But I mean, it's been a hot button topic. Everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody's saying when. But we'd be able to expand that in a way, both to our own token holders and the non-token holders. So I don't personally see that's going to be a big issue in the near future, but Ian.
No, yeah, exactly right. Yeah. I think if we get there and that's a problem, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, man, we've done okay if that's the case. So,
Okay.
Oh, we got another question. Go ahead.
Another one. Which will be the limit of tokens that can be staken on LINKPOOL?
Sure. So we have some initial limits that we've talked about. Some of this stuff is just a rough framework for us to go going forward, right? The idea is that once staking is live, we want to make sure that everything is secure, and we'd rather take baby steps. And then once we feel better about things, then open things up. So the idea is eventually, you'll be able to stake 10,000 link tokens per LINKPOOL token that you hold. And that's not right away. Again, the initial amounts are going to be a few hundred per token, and then it'll ramp up over time. Again, the specifics of that are kind of going to depend on exactly what the market is demanding. We reach a place where the token or the contracts that we're servicing are requiring more and more collateral, we can increase that. And then again, once we get past consuming essentially all the link that our token holders have, we can begin expanding it to non-token holders. So. But again, long term, at this point, 10,000 link per LINKPOOL token, that's kind of what we've communicated. But again, we could open it up bigger than that probably. So.
Okay. What is the justification to assume other blockchain platforms will not create their own oracles and use Chainlink instead?
That's a bigger question, certainly, right? And I think that we can see people are using their own oracles, but it's a big lift. It's a big lift, right? And that's a question that I think that we all ponder a lot of the time, right? As Chainlink dorks. The idea in many ways is that Chainlink is a really flexible solution, right? You don't have to be an Ethereum-based blockchain in order to make use of Chainlink's oracles, right? The external initiators are really generalized. You can see Kava right now using Chainlink oracles. You can see these other blockchain platforms are reaching out and saying, hey, look, we want to commit to using Chainlink oracles. I expect there's going to be more competition in the oracle space going forward. And that's probably better for Chainlink than if there wasn't. But that's sort of my opinion about it. Ian?
No, I think that's right. Yeah, I mean, absolutely no assumption that that other solutions aren't going to be built. I'm sure that they are. Our goal is to try and make Chainlink the most usable, and the standard.
Yeah, you run faster when somebody's chasing you, man. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, one more. As a node operator, how important will be setting up different adapters and jobs? Do you think it could be automatically generated somehow?
So it's going to be really important, right? I think it's going to be really important to be expanding and making sure that you're carrying the data or providing the data through your different adapters and jobs that people are demanding, that contracts need, right? So paying attention to that is going to be an important thing. Ian talked about one of the functions for the market sync. As you configure your node or as you get access to these other adapters and these other data sources, we're trying to expand the tooling, like Ian said, to make that process a little bit less painful. But I mean, having different data sources on your node it's a critical element of being a node operator. So, Ian, you just talked about this the other day. What are some other insights that you have about that?
Yeah, one of the things that we've talked about for market sync is making it bi-directional, so it doesn't just take jobs from your node and put them on the market.
Sure.
But potentially in the future there'd be a way for someone to say, I want that job on my node, and be able to have it go both ways. That's certainly not there yet, but it's something that we can think about in the future for sure. Yeah, that's definitely part of why we think including metrics and visualizations and data is important for the market, so people can make those, do that research to find out which are the good jobs and which are the highest performing and most frequent and best revenue generating and all that kind of stuff. And they can make those determinations at the market And then, yeah, it'll be really important to, support those same kind of jobs and look to be included in those kind of quorums, collections of nodes. So yeah, I think it's going to be critical to being a node operator. Can it be automated? Some parts certainly. I think for premium APIs that you need to subscribe to, well, you need to go and subscribe to them, get your own API key, configure it that way. And, although a lot of these adapters can be, just forked and you can use them on your node, you'll still need to configure them and set them up and make sure that you're accepting jobs that meet your threat tolerance and all that kind of stuff. So, managing the jobs that are available on your node and which you want to participate in is going to be very important.
Okay, I have another question on my own. When LINKPOOL web page in Spanish? Oh, come on, guys.
Mark, that's a question for you.
Yeah,
no, as Silverand.
Right, exactly.
Okay, no, another languages would be great.
That's a
Maybe
big
we
question.
Need to get some bounties out there. I don't know. We're not.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And another question: are there any careers in the LINKPOOL team? In
yeah,
near
absolutely.
future?
We're hiring right now. I think as probably everyone has noticed, Chainlink itself is growing quite a bit, and we're looking to grow with it. Right now, we're hiring for 2 different development positions. Those jobs are listed on our page. So yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in, the ideal situation for us is we bring people onto our team that are familiar with Chainlink and are as excited and as passionate about it as we are. That's the goal for sure. Is to bring like-minded people onto our team, and I think that although we're just advertising for 2 positions right now, I think that that will expand in the future for sure.
Okay, before we finish, if someone want to ask something in the Zoom group.
And I imagine that you've been watching the YouTube channel, right?
Okay, well, that's great. Well, thank you very, very much to Eric and Ian for that presentation. I think, okay, wait, I have another question. LINKPOOL owning a node and the market platform, isn't that sort of Binance owning CMC?
Well, I'm flattered that someone thinks that we're the size of Binance.
That'd be nice.
No, I don't think so. The great thing about the market is that it's open, right? We don't control any of the data that goes on there. All the data that's represented is from on-chain. I think one of the concerns that people have with Binance and CoinMarketCap is that there's a bit of a black box for where the actual data and where the numbers come from, and whoever owns that website has the potential to be able to alter that data, manipulate it in their favor. Not suggesting that that's happening, but we can't do that. This is all the data's on chain, and we're just bringing it in and making it available. Likewise, we don't control who lists their node on the market. We don't control what adapters go on there. We want it to be a marketplace that's open. So yeah, when a node gets verified on the market, if all of us are sleeping, it still happens. It's an automated process, and really we built it for the community to be able to find ways to participate. And so, I don't see it that way, certainly. But yeah, I hope we get that big someday.
Okay, Adams asked where can I learn about setting up and running a node? But I don't know if this question is for Chainlink, maybe.
So the official Chainlink documents are probably the best place to find that, right? What is that? In your docs.chain.link. You should ask me in the official Telegram channel. I'll answer that question. But the idea ultimately is that this is a great set of resources, right? There's an official Discord channel that features a lot of help from a lot of community development individuals. There's a channel specifically for node operators. I'm told there's a hackathon going on too. Keenan, any comments about that? Maybe Keenan is away. But so there's a hackathon going on right too. And again, you can always jump into any of those Telegram channels. We're happy to answer those questions directly too. Bringing more developers and more node operators into the Chainlink ecosystem, into the space, that's good for everybody, really, right? So, and you can list your node on market.link.
Okay. Well, as I said, thank you very much. It was a great presentation, and you two are invited to visit Spain when you want.
I would love
Not now because of COVID, but when you want.
Right. We'll come to proofread the white paper in Spanish.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Mark, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it. A big thank you to everybody that joined us today. And a big thank you to all the wonderful Spanish-speaking community members that have been so welcoming to us. And again, thanks for being so tolerant of my very bad Spanish.
Ok, muchas gracias a todo el mundo por estar aquí hoy con nosotros. Espero que os haya gustado y bueno, mirando la página de events.chain.link para futuras reuniones. ¿De acuerdo? Muchas gracias a todos y aquí nos despedimos. Goodbye, everyone.
Nos vemos.
Venga, hasta ahora, chicos. Bye, bye.
Tengas una buena noche.
Igualmente.
Thanks.